Welcome to the lecture series of Basic Electrical Engineering. The subject code is ECE 101. I am Dr. Richa Sharma, Assistant Professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Punjab University, Patiala. Today, in this video, we will discuss Norton's theorem. First of all, we do the recap of Thevenin's theorem. In Thevenin's theorem, we are having a linear network and we are having a load resistance connected across the terminal A and B. To Thévenize the theorem, we convert this linear network into a Thevenin voltage and a Thevenin resistance, and this Thevenin voltage and Thevenin resistance are connected in series with each other, and the load resistance are connected across the terminal A and B. So this is our Thevenin's theorem. Today we are discussing Norton's theorem. Norton's theorem. In Norton's theorem, any linear network can be replaced by the equivalent network which contains the current source IN in parallel with the impedance Zn. We are having a network and we are having the terminal A and B. So when we convert this network into the Norton's theorem, it is transformed into a current source IN, Norton's current, and a parallel impedance Zn. So any network which transformed into such network is called Norton's circuit. Keep one thing in mind, that whenever we are having the voltage source in the circuit, that is converted into the short circuit, and when we are having the current source, that is to be make open circuit. When we are replacing the voltage or current sources in the Thevenin theorem or in the Norton's theorem, we must keep this thing in mind, that voltage is replaced by the short circuit and the current source is replaced by the open circuit. How we apply the Norton's equivalent circuit, or how we apply the Norton's theorem, we will discuss step by step. The first step is find the short circuit current across the terminal A and B. Make this network short circuit, join this A and B, this is called short circuit, and the current flowing in this is ISC, that is short circuit current. Step 2, find the equivalent resistance at A and B considering all independent sources as zeros. When, as in the case of Thevenin, we are finding the Thevenin's resistance. Similarly, here we find the Norton's resistance, that is Zn, and in this case, if we are having the independent voltage sources, then they are considered as zero. But if we are having the dependent and independent sources, then the impedance is find out by calculating open circuit voltage and the short circuit current. Means first we find out the open circuit voltage and then we find out the short circuit current, and this is equals to the Norton's resistance. Zn is equals to VOC upon ISC. This is the if we are having this Thevenin's equivalent circuit, and this is our Norton's equivalent circuit, and in Thevenin's we are having the voltage source in series with the Thevenin resistance, but in the case of Norton's we are having the current source in parallel with the Norton's resistance. We convert Thevenin equivalent circuit into the Norton's equivalent circuit by doing the source transformation. I have already discussed this thing in the previous videos. For the reference, you watch that video. So we convert this voltage source into the current source. For we know that Zn is equals to Z Thevenin, means the resistance value will remain same, and from here we find out the current value. Current I is equals to V upon Z. V is this value and Z is this value, and the current value which we got from this formula is this our current source value. So we replace this voltage source into the current source value, and the value, this value remains same in the parallel case. So this is how we do the source transformation. Means if we solve the circuit with Thevenin theorem, we convert that into the Norton theorem as well. Now we explain the Norton's theorem with one example. The first step is find the Norton's equivalent resistance at A and B. This circuit is given to us and we have to find out Norton's equivalent resistance in the first step, and we are having here the current source 2 ampere and the voltage source 12 amperes and the resistances in this circuit. So when we replace first, for finding the equivalent Norton's resistance, we remove these resistances as the current source becomes open circuit and the voltage source becomes a short circuit. As shown in this diagram, this will become open circuit and the voltage source becomes the short circuit, and these three resistances become in series with each other, means 8 ohm resistance, 4 ohm resistance and this 8 ohm resistance are in series. 8 plus 4 plus 8 is equals to 20. So this 20 ohm resistance in parallel with 5 ohm resistance, and we find out this parallel combination, and this is our Norton's equivalent resistance. So Zn is equals to 5 in parallel with 20 and Norton's resistance is equals to 4 ohm. This is how we calculate the Norton's equivalent resistance. Then second step is find the Norton's equivalent current. We find out the Norton's equivalent current. Now for finding out that, we short circuit the terminal A and B. These terminals are short circuit, and we reconnect the current source and the voltage source to its places in the circuit. We make the two loops, this first loop here and the second loop here, and in this first loop the current I1 is flowing, and in the loop 2 I2 current is flowing. Here I1 is equals to 2 ampere current as the current source is connected here, and I2 current is equals to the short circuit current as short circuit current is flowing in this second loop. So when we consider this short circuit, terminal A and B short circuit, this 5 ohm resistance will also short circuited, and we remain with this 8 ohm resistance, 4 ohm resistance and this 8 ohm resistance. The circuit will become this, and the current I1 is flowing in this loop and I2 current is flowing in this loop, and we find out the short circuit current by using these loops. I1 is equals to 2 ampere, that is given to us, this current source is given to us. I2 is equals to the short circuit current, this ISC is short circuit current. Now we apply the KVL to this theorem, this loop. We apply Kirchhoff's voltage law to this loop, and it will become 8 ohm. We are moving clockwise, 8 ohm into I2, because I2 current is flowing, plus this minus negative to positive minus 12 volt, then plus 2 minus plus 4 ohm into, now look into this, here in this branch I2 current as well as I1 current is flowing. I2 is opposite to that of I1, so we write down 4 into I2 minus I1 plus this 8 ohm, 8 into I2. So this is our equation. Now in this equation put the value, solve this, it will become 20 I2 minus 4 I1 is equals to 12 volt. Now we know that I2 is equals to ISC, short circuit current, and I1 is equals to 2 ampere. So when we put these values, ISC is equals to 1 ampere. So 1 ampere current is flowing in this loop, and this is our short circuit current, and this circuit will become like this. 1 ampere current, that is our Thevenin current, Norton's current, 1 ampere, which we find in the previous here, and this is our equivalent Norton's impedance, which is we find in this previous slide. So this is how we convert a circuit into a Norton's circuit. So current source is in parallel with the Norton's impedance. So this is about how we solve the numerical with the Norton's theorem. Now I summarize the Norton steps which we use to solve the numericals. The first one is remove the resistance across two given terminals and put a short circuit across them. The first step is if we are having any load resistance, remove that and make it short circuit. Now compute the short circuit current, that is ISC, as we find in the previous numerical. Then remove all voltage sources but remain their internal resistances, if any. We remove all the voltage sources, but if we are having any internal resistance, then keep it that. Similarly, remove all the current sources and replace them by open circuit, that is by infinite resistance. As I have told you that the voltage source is always replaced by the short circuit and the current source is replaced by the open circuit. So keep this thing in mind. Next, find the resistance that is called Norton's resistance of the network, as look into from the given terminal. It is exactly the same as Thevenin resistance. The current source ISC joined in parallel across RI between the two terminals gives Norton's equivalent circuit. As shown here, this is called our Norton's circuit. So these are the steps to solve the Norton's theorem. So hope you like this video and understand the concept of Norton's theorem. Thank you so much.